And welcome back to another Odd Man Out. I am your host Harrison for the week, and we have Faust. And we are going to be trying to convince James here to play Binding of Isaac Rebirth.
Mm-hmm. This is a big favorite of mine. I really do like this game. It's basically released for everything.
So I can get it on an Atari?
The PlayStation 4, Xbox One. There's probably an Atari mod thing for it. What emulator? ROM for it. Xbox One, PlayStation Vita, Microsoft Windows, Wii U, iOS, Linux, Nintendo 3DS, and macOS.
Nice.
Yeah. So see, you can play it on your PlayStation Vita. You'll sell them their first copy.
Right.
Now,
this is developed by Nicholas and Edmund McMillan of Super Meat Boy fame.
Oh, okay. I've heard
And
that game.
it is a port or a reimagining of the original Binding of Isaac, which was released as a Flash. Well, not a Flash game, but they used Flash.
Okay.
And released on PC and I believe macOS. It didn't really get like a handheld thing. No. But it basically pushed Flash as a game engine to its absolute limit. And so they actually had to take the game and write a whole new engine for it.
In C.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
take the same game and basically build it up and add in whole new items, whole new rooms, whole new monsters and abilities and enemies, and just basically took the game and made it the game that they wanted to make, but they only had Flash to work with back in the day.
So what is this game about? Tell me.
So it is a roguelike type game.
Oh, like Rogue Legacy?
But no, think of the old school Zeldas.
Oh, like Link to the Past.
Well, yeah, the old dungeon format, yeah.
So it had that dungeon format where it had randomly generated dungeons. So it's procedurally generated dungeons, random every time. It's top down, very much like Zelda. You go in each room, you have random.
Oh, okay, so just the top down view, because I was like, Zelda wasn't a randomly generated dungeon.
Yeah. No, just the top down view.
It was a top down view like the Zelda dungeons. It's randomly generated.
Yes.
Okay.
We think we've established that. The more that you play, the more that you unlock within the game.
Okay.
So it's another one of those great roguelike games where if you beat it first time, you can't beat it first time all the way through to number 1 because you still have to unlock the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Like half the game is locked back by you basically having to play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you do manage to beat it the first time loading it up, you've already played the game before. Like you can't take this game on fresh and expect to beat it. You have to go in and die and die and die and fail and fail and fail. And even if you play through the entire thing and beat all of the bosses and everything like that, you're not done. There's just way too much in there. Now, Isaac is the titular character who is being pursued by his mother because she is commanded by God to sacrifice him.
By God?
This is all established in the opening cinematic whenever you start up the game. So Isaac is, first God says that Isaac is corrupt and she must remove influences. So she takes away all of his things and all of his clothes and everything like that and just basically removes every influence from his life. Then God comes back to his mom and says that he's still corrupt and that he must be removed from the world, and so she locks him in his bedroom. And then God comes back and says, sacrifice Isaac to prove your faith to me. And Isaac sees her coming and jumps down a trapdoor he finds in his bedroom into the basement. And that's where the game opens, is you start in the basement and you go down and down and down, further and further and further to escape from Mom. And then the final boss initially is Mom.
Yes.
But you go much further than that in Rebirth. And its expansion Afterbirth adds even more.
And there's another expansion on the horizon called Afterbirth Plus.
Mm-hmm.
That just sounds like a twisted, horror movie gone wrong.
It's an amazingly twisted game.
It is very, very twisted. I mean,
your weapon is tears.
Tears.
Mm-hmm. You can't upgrade to urine, but tears is your.
Tears and urine. Okay.
Yeah, tears and urine. You get random items by destroying poop. That's basically the clay pots of the game.
Okay.
You have bombs and keys and money that you go into stores to pay for. There's an arcade that lets you gamble. Blood banks that you can donate health to. And of course your health is the hearts. And there are many different themed bosses that are also random. So you need to know the strategy you need to learn the strategy.
And all this is below this person's house?
Yes.
The fuck do they live on? Seriously, all this is below this person's house? Why not just jump out the fucking window and run for your life?
By canon, they appear to live either in a country or a suburb and on a very big hill. Not like a mountainous hill, but a very big hill.
Yeah.
So there's room.
But the nice thing is, since it is roguelike, you can pick it up, you can play it, you can come back, play it again if you get frustrated or if you're having bad runs. And every time the power-ups you pick up are random. You don't know if you're going to get... if you're going to gain health or lose health. You can do things you make deals with the devil in here, or you make
for extremely powerful items.
Yep, for potentially extremely powerful items. Sometimes you just get screwed over by the devil.
Well, you can usually tell. Yeah, it's basically an item that drastically alters the gameplay, and sometimes it doesn't really alter it in your favor.
Yeah.
So the game can get harder, or you can make the game harder based upon your decisions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the interesting things they added in with Rebirth is a co-op mode.
So you could play this game with someone else.
Yeah, kind of.
Interesting.
Because remember, we tried this where
you become sort of like a Gradius option.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You have your own avatar within the game itself, but you can only really just do some base damage.
Some base damage, and you steal, every time if you die and you have to restart, you steal life from Isaac himself. So whoever's playing the main person, you're just a secondary little companion thing that can
dragged along,
okay. And you can potentially make it worse for the guy trying to get through the roguelike dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, this game, it's been out for a while, has a really amazing art style. You can look at any screen from the game and be like, that's Binding of Isaac. You can identify it right away. It does have a kind of a sort of a dark theme to it. So, yeah, poop and blood and urine. And the enemies are basically other children that are trapped within there, or they're the four horsemen of the apocalypse, or they're these monsters created by mom to try and capture you. There's a point where you actually go, after defeating mom, you unlock, this is the only unlock I'll really reveal, you unlock the womb, where you go into mom and destroy her heart. And there are even more darker levels beyond that point.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bad acid trip made into a video game.
It is an amazingly unique experience.
It's very, very dark, very kind of like creepy game, but at the same point, it's a very well put together game.
Very tight design, mountains and mountains of items, and they each do something different, and you have to basically suss out what they do. It's very difficult to determine exactly what something does. So this is another one of those roguelike games where looking up a wiki is not totally looked down upon, because you pick up an item and like, what does that do? And it doesn't really come forward with that information.
Gotcha.
There are, on top of the items that you pick up within the game, there are damage boosters, speed boosters. There are trinkets that have certain modifiers to drops and things like that. There are pills. There are tarot cards and playing cards. There are books. There are spacebar items. There are things that affect bombs. There are things that only certain bosses drop. Mm-hmm. So it is just this massive. And the more you play, the more of these items you unlock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, what do you think about this game?
Well, if I got this for free as like a Christmas gift or something, and I wasn't playing Enter the Gungeon, I would give this a shot.
Okay. Well, Odd Man Out has now gone over Binding of Isaac Rebirth. This game was released initially in November 4th of 2014. It has had one expansion, and it has another one in the works.
Okay.
So great game if you're still not done with Halloween.
Yes, definitely. Good for that time of year.
Okay.
So, again, this is Odd Man Out. You take it.
You take it? Okay.
You take it.
That's been Odd Man Out. So this episode, we managed to convince James here to play Binding of Isaac, to check it out. Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Of course, the original game and the game itself plus their expansions are available on Steam. New expansion on the way. And of course, if you like what we're doing here, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you want us to cover something in particular or go back and revisit something, of course. And we will see you guys next week.
Later. And thank you for watching The Odd Man Out for this week. As we mentioned previously, we are drawing the winners for the Odd Man Out Delver, see who won. So we got our trusty hat here.
Our fedora.
Our fedora.
Our fedora.
And we have taken all the people who have commented it and subscribed.
Look how many of you commented.
Yes.
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 Yeah. We won't say how many, but you can probably count.
And we're going to draw a winner, see who...
Yeah. When's the last time you saw this? I think most people just do random rolls and stuff.
Yeah. Well, fedoras are old school, so you got to do this old school too.
Yeah. Oops, you lost one.
I lost one?
Yeah.
That's going to be our one then.
Is that the one you want to choose?
That's the one I want to choose.
Okay, this is the one that fell out. No, set that fell out of frame. So, we are going to give it to Helen Lena. I'm hoping I say that right.
Helen
Lena. Nice collection. My favorite is the Murloc one from World of Warcraft.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Yes.
Yes.
So good job. So, all right. Helen Lena.
Yeah. Send us a message with your contact deets.
Well, we're actually going to try to reach out and contact you too, hopefully.
Yeah. So, and we'll get you a Steam key for Delver.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Congratulations.
Then I might try it. But right now I probably have too many of that type of little game.
Verizon has bought Vessel and has now decided they're shutting it down October 30th.